Hello YouTubers, this is 777 Die Hard Forever coming at you with another brand new model. You're viewing a JC Wings Singapore Airlines Airbus A380-800 and the Singapore Golden SG50th Anniversary Livery Special Edition. This was a September 2015 release, but I didn't purchase it till December 4th, 2015 from Troy's Toys, based out of Overland Park, Kansas. There's other dealers still had this model available, but you probably want to go ahead and get your hands on it because it's flying off the shelves as we speak, okay? Now let me give you some heads up about Singapore Airlines, alright? Singapore Airlines was founded on May 1st, 1947 under the incorporation of Malayan Airways Limited by the Ocean Steamship Company of Liverpool, the Strait Steamship Company of Singapore, and Imperial Airways. Fast forward to September 16, 1963. The airline became Malaysian Airways Limited. Then fast forward to May 1st, 1966. It became Malaysia Singapore Airlines. Then fast forward to September 30th, 1972, when Malaysia and Singapore Airlines decided to split up and become two entities, Singapore Airlines and Malaysian Airlines System, which is known today as Malaysia Airlines, due to conflicts between the governments of Singapore and the governments of Malaysia, expanding into international markets, and as a result, Singapore Airlines commenced operations on the very next day on October 1st, 1972, and has been in existence ever since. Singapore Airlines corporate headquarters is located at the Airline House, which is located at 25 Airline Road, Singapore, while the airline's main hub of operations is located on the grounds of Singapore Changi Airport, which is located approximately 11 miles northeast of the commercial center district of Changi, Singapore. Currently, Singapore Airlines is one of 7 carriers to maintain a 5-star rating according to the international airline review firm Skytrax magazine. The other airlines are Cathay Pacific, based out of Hong Kong, Asiana Airlines, based out of Seoul, South Korea, ANA All Nippon Airways, based out of Tokyo, Japan, Hainan Airlines, based out of Beijing, China, Garuda Indonesia, based out of Jakarta, Indonesia, and Qatar Airways, based out of Doha, Qatar. Alright? So, with that said, I'm going to show you the information on the front of the box. You see the SG50 right there. I'll get into details into that, along with the Majulah Singapura, our Golden Jubilee, along with the Singapore flag. There's the model right there. There's the paint job. You see the paint job, the Airbus A380. That's what this is. 1/200 scale models. There are 2 versions, 9V SKJ and 9V SKI. I got the 9V SKI. So here we go. Here's the back of the box. Nothing on the back of the box spectacular except what you see there. So I'm going to keep it moving. Alright. Alright. This is the top of the box. Alright. Everything right there. That's the one I got right here. This is the most popular right now as we speak. So you got a chance to get your hands on it, go ahead and do so. Either one's fine. But I knew this was going to be the popular one first because this was the first one they did. Alright. Now I'm going to show you the bottom of the box. Alright. That's the bottom of the box there. Same thing as the top. So there you have it. Now I showed you the box, and there's the stand that came with the model and everything. Here it is right here. It's padded and everything. There you go. Alright. And then there's the gear replacements right here, which I'll show you in a moment. Alright. And now with that said, no further ado, here is the model. Okay, here we go. Alright, there's the model, folks. Okay, the Singapore Airlines Airbus A380 in the Special Singapore Golden 50th Anniversary Livery Special Edition. Okay, now let me give you some more aircraft information in case you didn't know. Singapore Airlines was the launch customer of the Airbus A380, receiving their first Airbus A380, which was registration number 9V-SKA on October 15, 2007. And I also like to mention JC Wings did do that model about a couple years back, about 2.5 years back, alright? And then now there's the SG50 livery info, how that came about. Okay, here it is. The purpose of the Singapore Airlines SG50 livery is to commemorate the 50th anniversary when Singapore gained political independence from Malaysia by way of expulsion on August 9, 1965. The celebration took place on August 9, 2015, some 50 years later. Two of Singapore Airlines Airbus A380s, registration number 9V-SKI, as you're looking at right here, and 9V-SKJ, that's the other one, were painted in this commemorative livery. The Airbus A380s will be in this special livery until the end of 2015, with the aircraft serving Beijing Capital, Hong Kong, London Heathrow, Mumbai, India, Delhi, India, and Shanghai, Pudong. These aircraft were also spotted at airports in Zurich, Switzerland, Frankfurt, Germany, New York, JFK, Osaka, Kansai, Japan, Tokyo, Narita, Melbourne and Sydney, Australia, and Auckland, New Zealand. So with that said, getting ready to get down to the nitty gritty here with all the details. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to start with the front of the aircraft first of all, folks. You know, you see the gears here, the partial registration number right there, and there's the cockpit windows right there. You can barely see it, but that's the Star Alliance logo, and that means Singapore Airlines joined the Star Alliance on April 1st, 2000, which consists of 27 other airlines from 5 continents, which includes United Airlines, Air Canada, Lufthansa, Air China, Thai Airways, South African Airways, Eva Air, and some other heavy hitters. Okay, now you see here, and there's the inboard landing light right there. But you see this Drake flag right here. Okay, I'm gonna show you at another angle. All right. Okay, the Singapore Drake flag, which you see on the fuselage, which is draped on the fuselage. Okay, as the national flag carrier of Singapore in helping Singapore celebrate their 50th anniversary, Singapore Airlines decided to paint a decal of the country's national flag on 2 of their Airbus A380s. And the flag decal paint job alone took 8 days to paint. You see that, folks? Wow. Okay, show you here. And then I'm going to show you on top of that, okay? Okay. Now we on the part of the engines you see here and here. But before I get to the engine part, I'm going to get into the logo right here, the SG50. You want to know what that stands for? It stands for Singapore Golden Jubilee 50. And Jubilee means 50 years, okay? And then you see the engines here. These are the Rolls-Royce Trent 970-84 engines. And these Singapore Airlines uses these on their Airbus A380s, okay? See how big and massive they are, all right? Now I'm going to show you at another angle, okay? Okay, now I got it at this angle. Now they do spin right there. Along here, engine number 2. Okay. And now you see the front of the plane right here. The cockpit windows and the windshield wipers right there. There's the gears, no gear light, but they there. And then there's the inboard landing light on this side. And we scoot over here to engines 3 and 4. Okay. They spin just as well. All right. Same over here. Excellent. Okay. All right. Now, with said, I'm gonna turn it at another angle. All right. Okay, you looking at the wing here, the end of the wing right here. There's 2 little navigation lights right there. You see real close, and then there's the winglet right there. Okay. Now I'm gonna show you the rest of the plane here. Okay. Of course, you see the Singapore Airlines title there. You know, usually without this Drake flag, you know, it usually be in big bold letters throughout the whole aircraft, pretty much take up most of the whole aircraft there. But the fact this is a special commemorative livery, they decided to put it back here temporarily. And then you see the registration number 9V-SKI. All right. This was Singapore's ninth Airbus A380, which was delivered to Singapore Airlines on July 6, 2009, while the other Airbus A380, which is registration number 9V-SKJ, which was also painted in the commemorative SG50 livery, which was Singapore's 10th Airbus A380, was delivered 2 months later on September 6, 2009. And then now we get up here to the top of the tail right here, the logo right there. Okay, the Singapore Airlines logo there. You also see it here, and you also going to see it at the underbelly, okay? The Singapore Airlines logo is a bird that was inspired by silver kriss, which comes from the keris, a dagger from Southeast Asia, prominently featured in the region's myth and folklore. The logo is also featured on the tail fin, see there, and the underbelly of this aircraft, and has remained unchanged since Singapore Airlines inception from the split of Malaysia Singapore Airlines in 1972. Okay, now I'm going to show you the APU exhaust system right there. I'm going to turn it around real quick. Okay, there's the APU exhaust system along with the strobe light. Okay, oh yeah, very impressive at this angle. Okay, all right, very impressed at this angle. Okay, now I'm gonna show you the underbelly of the aircraft. All right, okay, here's the underbelly of the aircraft, or the fuselage. Okay, there's the gears right there. All right, and then there's the antennas there, a couple antennas there, and then the Majulah Singapura, our golden jubilee, along with the Singapore flag. Okay, this is the National Anthem of Singapore, and the anthem was composed by the late Zubir Said in 1958. It also means Onward Singapore. Let us move forward together. Let us unite in a new spirit together. And let us progress towards happiness together. That's the motto of Singapore, okay? And then there's the anti-collision beacon light right there by the hole where the stand goes in at. There's the gears right there. Along over here as well. Okay, the gears over here. There's Singapore Airlines logo right there. Right there. See a couple antennas here. And then you see the APU housing right there. And then you see the engines on this side as well. Whoa. There's the registration number. The winglet under there. Okay. And that does it on this side of the aircraft as well. Okay. Okay, now here's the bird's eye view, the top angle of the aircraft. Okay, there's the antenna there. Okay, and there's the SATCOM Wi-Fi box right there. There's the two anti-collision beacon lights right there. Of course, you know, there's the paint job along there. There's an antenna there, and then there's antenna there, and then you see the little dot right there. Same on this side as well. Those are the illuminator lights that light up this tail when it flies at night. Okay. Now you see the bird's eye angle of the wings as well. There's the two engines there, winglet there. And then there's the winglet on here as well. Okay. All right. Okay. More information. All right. Here it is. Singapore Airlines ordered 24 Airbus A380s, with 19 currently operating in service. With 2 of those are painted in the commemorative SG50 livery, and the remaining 5 will be delivered from 2018 to 2019. Singapore Airlines is the second largest operator of the Airbus A380 after Emirates, which ordered 140 Airbus A380 with 71 currently operating in service, and Emirates is scheduled to receive another 21 in 2016 alone. Okay? Alright, so with that said, I'm going to put this on the stand, and then I'll go into the seating configuration and I'll wrap it up. Alright? And here's the stand I showed you earlier. I'm about to put it on here right now. Okay? Okay, I got it at this angle. Okay? Alright? Now I'm going to show you at another angle. Okay? Next angle. Okay, I got it at a tail angle, folks. Alright? Tail cam angle right there, folks. Okay. Now I'm going to turn it at another angle. Alright? Okay. I got it at this angle. Alright? Now I'm going to turn it facing me. Okay? Alright, here we go. Okay, I got it at this angle. Alright? Okay. Now I'm going to turn it back to the original angle. Alright? Okay, now I got it at this angle. I'm going to take some of the gears off, not all of them. Okay? Alright. There. And there. Alright? You can display it with or without the gears, your choice. And if you want to put it in flight mode without the gears, here are the gear replacements. There you go. Alright. Now I'm going to put the gears back on here, okay? Eyesight display mine on, alright? Okay. Okay. They do tilt, but I don't roll them. They don't roll that good, so I don't bother rolling. So, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and take this bad boy off the stand, okay? Okay, since I got off the stand, I'm going to start from this side of the plane. I meant to do that earlier. There's the Star Alliance logo. There's the front cargo container door. There's the drape flag on the fuselage. You see there. There's the Singapore Airlines title. There's the inboard landing light. There's the Rolls-Royce Trent 970-84 engine with the SG50 logo on there. You see that. And then you get over this way. There's two green navigation lights right there, along with the winglet right there. Now I'm going to bring it back to the back of the airplane here. Okay, and then there's the rear cargo container door. There's the bulk bin door. There's the registration number there. And then there's the Singapore Airlines logo there and the Singapore Airlines title. Okay? Alright, now. Okay, now is the seating configuration, folks. Alright. Singapore Airlines Airbus A380, which is a version 4 as I looked up, seats 379 passengers in a 4-class configuration layout. Okay, let's start from here. There, from rows 1 to 4, there are 12 first class closed suites. Okay, and then from rows 31 to about 35 is 36 premium economy class seats, and then from rows 41 all the way back to the aircraft, the lower deck, to row 65 is 245 economy class seats, and then the upper deck is 86 business class flatbed seats in 3 sections, rows 11 to 16, and then there's rows 17 to 27, and then there's rows 91 to 95 and 96. It's all business class on the upper deck. Okay, there you have it. In addition to the destination that Singapore Airlines utilizes, the Airbus A380 that I mentioned earlier, Singapore Airlines also employ their Airbus A380s from Singapore to Los Angeles via Tokyo Narita and to Paris Charles de Gaulle. Okay, so with that said, this is all I have for this video right now. I hope you enjoyed this video review, and hope this video review will help you make a prompt decision to go get this model while it's still available, which I believe it will. Please rate and subscribe and leave your comments and suggestions and what I can do to improve my video quality. With that said, in the meantime, take care God bless. There's more coming. Stay tuned. All right.